and they just played off each other so well. They played with what was comfortable rather than what was competitively viable. And it looks like we will be right for the most part. We do see the Phoenix on PDH's side swap out for the Reyna. Otherwise, we do roughly see pretty much the same team comp, I believe, from VGA's side. And yes, I believe we do see almost the exact same. Mindless swapping out for the Sage instead of the Brimstone, which is a really important pick as well. But we do see Skulls swapping away from the Sova pick, going to the Omen as well. I didn't pick up on that until now, but mixes away from the Phoenix, going to the Reyna. And these are really substantial changes. And honestly, PDH might have the better choices.
I would have to agree with you on that. Like we talked about, Reyna is one of those agents who can really do it all for herself. All of her abilities are for selfish tendencies, and when you're using it on attack like this, it's gonna be so CPR coming out right now. You see Cyber Cage coming out, but that's gonna be Rosie finding the first kill onto Mixes. Tossing him down. Cyber Cage was not low enough for her to fully cross through. School and Rosie bots both finding one. Doffy on the immediate refrag, though, is going to take him out, and the spike is going to have a chance to be planted here. However, yeah,
my eyes are
Sage
down.
outside the site now. Milo
Cage
finds the kill onto Richa. The spike is 3v2 situation, though. Make that 3v1 situation. It's all about taking out this Sage now. All up to her. She's going to find one kill. It's going to be Kicks. She's going to need to find 71 health now. Jumps out around the corner. Does not find it, though. There's going to be Polonium finding a kill. And it's going to be the first round going to PDHM. I mean, not PDHM, VGA. Now, what you might have heard there was a lot of talking from me, a lot of fast talking, but this is the second point that VGA has secured in this entire series. And with it being the first one on this map, that is going to be a huge benefit. It's going to give him more eco, and it's going to give him plenty to really capitalize on.
It's also really good that, all things considered, it's a lot harder to attack on B site for most of the rounds given. So going for the rush on B site from the pistol round for PDH was a really good idea, because you have a much close quarters combat. You don't have to risk really far off and wacky shots from the classic as much. And we are going to see some mid combat this time around. Rika taking out Rika. What do you know? Rika. But it's going to be a minute 30 between the two, and you've already lost down on your main support. Now, Polonium does take down Doffy as well, and now anything related to your support is pretty much dead, minus the Sage, who is holding onto the spike. Now, you're still continuing on to go through Heaven. This might not be the most best idea, but it doesn't matter. You're still going for it. Rika takes down Mixes, and Kicks takes down Rika, and then Mindless with a double kill takes down the round, bringing it to the third point that VGA has gotten this entire series.
I mean, there's a lot of potential here. You see Mindless, he's really starting to pop off here. We saw him just get up on that wall and just go from head to head and annihilate them. So that's nice. This is the first advantage that VGA has had thus far. You know, we were talking about morals, we're talking about support, and this is exactly what we're going to need to see. But rather than saving again, PDHM has bought virtually nothing, and now they're equipped with Phantoms and Vandals in their lineup against Spectres, against the team who won 2 rounds in a row. This is the opposite of what you would not see a save coming out from VGA at this point. You would expect to see it coming out from PDHM, but the roles are swapped here. Phantoms, full buys all the way around. It's a risk that you would need to take. High risk, high reward is the name of the game here. Gonna be a second down right now. Toasty, he's going to find 2. Ooh! He's going to try to find 3. Polonium finding 1 as well, but Richa is going to fall. I mean, he's going to take a kill. School is going to as well. The C4 coming out from Rika Bonkers is going to kill School. Then Roasty is going to find another one as well. In a matter of just a few seconds, everything has gone from the top to the bottom for PDHM. And now not only are they low on eco, but they are also extremely low on scoreline. They're may be running low on motivation here, but they only need to win 1 more map versus VGA having to win 4. So we'll see how this is going to pan out now.
Not even that. VGA needs to win 6 maps now, because they have lost map number 1. So they have to win not only this map, but the map afterwards in the best of 3. Then, oh no, you're right. Never mind. But that, yeah, well, I tried my best. But speaking of trying your best, I mean, right now, they're going for the mid push. Again, Mindless takes down Richa, and PDHM, I don't understand what they're attempting to do. Doffy does free up B site, however, and that's going to be Roasty going down. You do have to worry about the Sage, however, on B coming up behind the Cypher pick. And that's going to be Mindless taking out School. Mindless with a triple kill and mixes with Rika. Toasty does secure the final kill again on the mixes. It's 4 in a row for VGA. What happened to PDHM? They keep going for the same exact strats over and over again with the same exact outcome.
I feel like we're watching Aerial Arise on Bind right now.
Oh.
And no, not to be rude, but what I mean in that is that we're seeing the exact same strategy come out time and time again, and no real adaptation. You know, we see a heavy mid push with maybe someone sending on the B, and it's just not working out. I don't mean to drag her back on anyone, but we saw this just a couple hours ago in the tournament. Aerial Arise was doing this exact same thing on Bind. Prepare for hell!
Yeah, they were doing the same exact thing. They weren't really adapting around their surroundings, like you said, Casey. And we're seeing it again. Now, this seems to be much more in line with the PDHM pushes we have seen a few yesterday against the team I still cannot remember, where we see the Cypher and the Omen each individually attacking B and A. It's worked out really well for them before, and it's working right now very well for them now. Doffy and Reach each find kills, but Mindless claps back against Kicks, and Mixes finds Mindless as well. Toasty takes down Rika, and it's looking really bad for the defenders all of a sudden. Polonium's the last one alive inside alley. You've got to look forward and you got to look to your left and right before you cross the street out of the alley, because you have enemies on all facets of your direction. And just like that, it's going to be a double cross peek, and it's going to be Mixes taking down Polonium, getting their first round on the board. For map number 2, PDHM, who had formerly won the first map, is now making that climb back to grace.
You know, Keg, I do have to say I have never heard that before. I've heard left and right across the road when you're coming out of the alley, but not because there's enemies, but rather because there's cars. But
Cars are the enemies.
Cars are the enemy. The only cars I would see here is a potential for PDHM to steamroll like they did in the last map.
Joke's over!
I don't think that we're going to do that exactly like you said. It's going to be much more close. The frag grenade coming out from Raze is going to go into the small market room right here. There'll be a flash coming out from Phoenix. So Toasty with an immediate flick onto Kicks, taking him out. Good night to the Sage. Wow, Toasty, a wonderful shot. And that's going to be the opening kill for this round. A huge impact player on a map like Split. The Sage able to get those walls up and able to heal the teammates. They need to get that spike back. That's going to be a rotate. Showstopper coming out, going to do a lot of damage onto the Brimstone. Rika aware of his location, but he's not going to peek just yet. Some potential aggression here as the Molly comes out now, and it's going to be the thing that kills him. Schooled to go, fighting the other Sage. It's going to be Rika, though, finishing off Schooled, and now it's a 2v4 for the Reyna and the Cypher to come back for the retake on. 45 seconds left on the clock. They're going to have to make quick work of this.
Hey.
Quick work indeed. 40 seconds left, and Toasty with a 3K taking down Doffy, and Mixes taking down Toasty, finally putting that era of tyranny to an end. It's going to be Rika and everybody else alive on B side trying to figure out what to do as Mixes is crawling through the sewers. You do have the spike and you could potentially make it to A, but it really comes down to what the Omen has to say about that. Polonium right now holding through screens. I'm not sure what weapon Polonium has, but if it's a far-reaching weapon like a Marshal or an Operator, say goodnight to Mixes. And look at that, an Operator. Say goodnight to Mixes. And that's going to be another... What's up?
I said goodnight, Nexus.
Oh, good night. And that's going to be another round on the board for VGA. They have definitely gotten a lot more controlled and put together than last map, and this is the kind of matchup we want to see.
Exactly, 100% agreed. I like to see teams really coming back in the likes of this. Now, we talked about Ascent being VGA's pick, but Split was PDHM's pick. So the fact that they're falling down so much on this is actually kind of huge. Now, obviously, VGA got the pick that they were on defense first, so that may be part of it. This map is much easier to hold defense on. So I do have to say, this is the one map we're going to have to wait until the second half to really see what takes off here. The paranoia coming out from the Omen means that Mixes is still in sight, though. Making their way, making the aggression here, getting shot from behind, being read out well. Dogging finds the first kill. The Operator from William, though, is going to be in screens, trying to shoot it like it's trying to shoot Omen smoke like it's one of Raze's, not Raze's, Reyna's orbs. not going to work out as effectively though. Kicks now finding another kill for her team. Spike has been planted. That means that it is going to be a 45-second countdown in a 3v5. Sage, left on low health, is going to heal herself, but Polonium watching for anyone to push up through the ramp here. Smoke coming down once again. It's going to be up.
Cover going
You
out.
will not kill my ally.
Mindless on the res though is going to immediately make this into a 4v5 situation now. Doffy going to say reflecting that, going to take out two of them right now. Roasty and Mindless are going to be the ones to fall. Kicks is going to fall as well. And now it's all left up to the Rays. It's going to be a 1v5. It's turned out to a 1v4, but it's not going to have enough time to make this happen. He's going to have to look behind her. Mixes finds the kill on Rika, though, and is going to go ahead and finish this off for round number 2 in favor of PDHM.
That's a really important round. Once I got the cough. Nope, never mind. Cough went away. But it's a really important round for PDHM because they need to claw their way back to the top. Maybe their attack this time around is not in their favor, but the defense, this might be a defensive-sided game. Of course, that means as well VGA needs to win as many defensive rounds as they can now, because both teams might easily struggle on the attack, or maybe VGA is just a natural when it comes to playing attack or defense on split. We do see Toasty immediately going for the very aggressive plays on the shorty, taking one body down, and he's going to be running away as fast as he can. You can't catch him because he's the gingerbread man. But Kicks comes in immediately and revives Rika again, almost as if that shorty kill never happened, as impressive as it was. Now it's going to be nothing but sight denial going through everywhere, and Toasty can't see a damn thing. I don't even know how many cyber cages are out right now. I think it's 2, but 1 went away. Mix is going to use this opportunity of full-out blindness to get on top of Heaven. That's going to be a really good spot to take over the defenders. Rika taking down Toasty finally, and that's going to be the Sage swapping around, finding that kill question mark on to Mixes. Not only that, Mindless gets a double kill as well, and Rika takes down Rika. School gets a double kill as well, and now it's a 2v2 situation. Rika, though, however, does not care and wants to secure this to the very end. So 1v1 now, and you have Omen versus Omen. School gets a 3k on the Rika, and he's hungry for more Omen blood. I'm not even sure what kind of blood Omen would have. I would imagine it's like purple, but...
It probably is, but if you take a look at the top of the scoreboard, though, looking at the lineup, each of these Omens are left on very low HP, anywhere between 6 and 20. You get 6 for one of them, 18 for the other. That means that they're both going to be one shot to essentially either weapon, but 9 bullets left in the Stinger for the Omen on VGA means that they're going to have to make quick work of this. So it's whoever gets the first bullet off here, and it's going to be Polonium getting the first bullet off, taking down Schooled and bringing it to make sure they at least have half of the first splits round 1, 6-2 in favor of VGA.
It's working out really well in VGA's favor. They are 3 times ahead of PDH. There's going to be a second to do the math. But they are 3 times ahead right now, and they have a, well, decent economy still. They're full buying just about every round. They did save a little bit with Toasty on the shorty last round, but I'm pretty sure he was the only one that did. They have Vandals and Operators and Phantoms across the board, and they're going to need that a lot. But Rika immediately showing why they full bought again, taking down Mixes right off the bat as we the showstopper going down. Not 1, but 2 kills now for Rika. Onto Rika again. It's just Rika on Rika violence. And so suddenly now your attack is completely separated again. We do have Kicks and the Cypher as well right now, trying to figure out what they want to do. They have a lot of options, and Kicks is going to hand off the Spike. Polonium on the other side of the map, however, did not work well with their solo expedition. It's going to be Schooled going down, and suddenly it's a 2v5. Not sure what to do right now. They're going to, say screw it and see what they can do by going on top of Heaven. It's going to be Kicks looking for those final shots, but not going to be finding it. And the Cypher is struggling a lot from behind. The grenades are going to go down, but neither of them will connect at all on the attackers. And that's going to be Kicks completely dead. Rika finally getting a 3k on those Operators. And it's going to be Doffy finding 1 kill and possibly going to be a second one. Now the Operator is super up close, and I don't think they have any idea of where each other are. And that's going to be a huge surprise for Doffy, because Rika comes in with a quick scope 4K, showing them who is the real boss on defending split. 7-2 between the 2 teams in VGA's favor.
just like that, suddenly things are looking up for VGA's return to greatness, its return to glory, if you would like to say it that way, as now we have a very strong and defined split here. You know, 7-2, you have a 5-round advantage on your teammates. You're almost quadruple the amount of rounds that they have. That is absolutely massive in any sense. And this is almost exactly what we saw PDHM doing to VGA last round. So my question is, when did they all swap accounts? Or how is VGA just naturally gunning for it? Cybercage, Wall, and York all coming out means that they're going to go for a full take now. However, Cypher's link knows most of them. It's going to be Doffy finding the first kill, though. Goes as Spike can go down. Rico with the off is going to go ahead and take down Mixes now. The main tracker for the side of Hellfire is going to out. A quick scope from Rico and a shot from Rosie and Polonium. 2 for Polonium are going to just end out the round. What just happened there? Rika, the quickscope master, has spent way too much time on Modern Warfare 2 and absolutely annihilated the team alongside Polonium. Now we are 8-2. 2 rounds left in the half, and things do not look to be slowing down anytime soon for VGA.
Yeah, slowing down is not something they're doing right now. It's almost like no sages are on the board. We've seen some revives, but again, the pace of this game just keeps going faster and faster. Again, we're seeing a split push coming out through mid, and it looks like we might see Richa again trying to go for a solo expedition, going through sewers or maybe around A, but we're seeing a very aggressive A side right now. That's School, not Rika. School is looking around, trying to find the opening pick, and it's going to be the Phoenix getting a headshot off, but it's not going to fully kill. In fact, that barely does any damage. Wow, that's going to be Toasty running away right now, and both the Brimstone and the Omen need to retreat. Again, it's almost as if the round never started. Both teams are starting in their starting positions, still in their default where they wanted to begin, and it's not looking like it's really going to change a whole lot in the next moments. Toasty is looking at the top of ramps, not finding a whole lot of aggression, except for Schooled, who is still waiting to do something. Now, keep in mind, one ult is on the board, and that's going to be for the other Omen, the defending Omen, and that's not going to really help when it comes to the attack, and that's going to buy so much time for the B attack, and Rosie takes down Kicks, but Rika and Mixes, and Rika again come through in the clutch. That's a double kill that the team really needed. PDHM now having the man advantage, going to be taking down more people again. Polonium going down in Rika with a 3K.
I mean, really, there's not a lot to say except for the fact that there was just a lot of running guns happening right there. You know, we saw Rika with 3K absolutely popping off, doing the best they can. And I don't want to say that this is where it picks up, but we saw PDHM get very aggressive there. Obviously, in the rounds where it's 30, 40 seconds in, and you're basically back to your starting positions, you have to make things happen quickly. Very little utility had been used, so you're going to see a whole lot of aggression. Just like Rosie with the op, finding the first kill onto Doffy that early on inside of the garage. That's a very important pick, because that is one of the main people who would be pushing forward in garage had it come down to a B push. But just like that, it seems to be a rotate. If you want to take your attention to the top left corner, you can see the Sage and the Brimstone on the map, now in the bottom right of the map, going for the rotate alongside the Omen Schooled here on the ramps, waiting for someone to peek out. He may know the Phoenix is there, but he is just sitting, he is waiting. He is being very patient. He sees the Phoenix. Schooled takes him out, and that's now a man for a man. That's a 4-4 even man count, and is being read as an A take. Everyone's rotating over to B, but the Spike is going back to B. People rotate to A, and the Spike comes back to B. It's a Cypher left all by himself. His links have not been destroyed, so it's going to be who is going to get control of this site first.
30 seconds left, and it's a 4v4, but never mind. As soon as I say that, commentators curse mindless revives Toasty Toaster, but I guess it's kind of null and void because he dies immediately after. Rosie takes down Kicks again, and it's looking like the B push will have to be the way to go. Time is ticking down, and it takes 4 seconds to plan, so you better hurry up and get rid of all these people. School with the 3K, taking down Toasty, and it's gonna be 10 seconds left, and there we go. The Spike does not go down. That's going to be the showstopper taking down Rika, and that is going to be a full-on denial of the spike going down. That's how you play Valorant, ladies and gentlemen. VGA taking another round, 1 point away from having double digits over PDHM Gaming. That spike denial at the very end with that showstopper was some last-minute amazing ingenuity from Rika to bring it back home. That easily could have been a 4-8 situation, but instead, that last-second decision, that instant kill ultimate, turned everything around.
Well, there's not much to say. I guess that's why the showstopper is called a showstopper. We could have seen a whole lot happen there in the likes of PDHM in a post-point situation, but that rocket launcher comes out, that's a one-shot anywhere you are, or just about. But with that close, it's obvious it's going to go down in the default spot. And as soon as you hear that fire in the hole coming out from the Reyna, you know it's going to be game, set, and match. So that is what pushes us to a 9-3 split after we hit the switch spot. 12 rounds have passed. Now back to pistols, but it seems to be a full 8 running in through heaven. Nonetheless, it's going to be everyone pushing in that. Going to rotate through ropes, but it looks like going through and making their way to B. It's being read out though by the Sage, who was still sitting in mid. That's right. Now the comms are coming out. Everyone makes their way towards B. Trades come out from all over the place. Toasty finds one, and just like that, it's going to be a man count advantage for VGA. It looks like another rotate again coming in through ropes. There's an Omen. See him on the map. We're looking at it though. Let's come down. Is waiting on top though, with the body of the Cypher falling right through. Rika finds one alongside Rika Bonkers. Both of them are going to find a kill for their likes. 43 seconds left, and the spike is in the favor of the defenders.
In the favor of the defenders, and it's a 3v3. It doesn't feel like a 3v3, especially now because it's over. That's going to be Toasty with a 3K, bringing it back for VGA. Once again, having a 7-point lead. This sounds really familiar. This is like facing Aerial Arise again. We had seen the same exact scoreline before. And now, I mean, with PDHM, what's going on? Your attack is not looking as solid as we have seen in the past. It's a matter now of figuring out what's going wrong, and honestly, they have tried everything at this point. They're split pushing. They're pretty much solo pushing. They've tried mid, they've tried B, they've tried A, but everywhere they go, it's pretty much dumb luck if they win. Otherwise, it's shut down so quick. But Toasty getting that first kill on the mixes, that's going to be huge with your Reyna going down for the count so quickly. School, however, does take over Toasty. That's going to be Roasty, but the Roasty Toasty of Vengeance taking down School. It's not looking great with that spike going down. Mindless still has a lot of positional advantage. The pressure onto the site is extreme. Roasty does take a member down. That's going to be Rico fighting back with still just a shorty. Having just a shorty is such a dire situation to be in, and Polonium is doing the best he can to find this Brimstone, but he missed every shot.
Spike is down, so the time ticks away, but pushing closer with the shorty in the smoke is going to be the Brimstone. Polonium may not be aware of that. Maybe looking for him still on top of ramps, but he's right there. Polonium takes him down, and just like that, there's one single defender left who has to try to make something happen. With Spike, you hear it going beep, beep, beep as top speed. Doppio just shorty cannot make anything happen. Polonium is going to find another kill to push their team onto a 11-3 vantage. An 8-point lead on Split. PDHM falling off of a cliff by the looks of it compared to what we saw on the last map. Now, how are you going to fall from a 13-1 lead? And then on the second map, you're going to start falling apart like this. The answer? This stage is not their map. Either that or they know they have plenty of comfortability. They're going to have to win fewer maps in less time if they want to beat VGA. Now, I don't want to say that is going to be entirely the case, but the decider is going to be Haven, who can really go either way here.
Props to VGA, by the way. They not only have been playing for roughly 5 hours now. I'm sorry, no, 3 hours now. But they have also been playing a tournament earlier this morning, which just shows how non-fatigued they can get and how they don't slow down. Now, they did have a few mix-ups before against Aerial Arise, but they are bringing it back now on this map. it's a really, really slow push. Main garage knows it's being contested. You can see Doffy with his line of sight directly waiting. He's not going to move an
Joke's
inch
over.
other
You're
than his
dead.
little tippity tap wiggle wiggles. But even then, the sage wall goes up, the paranoid goes down, the blinds come out, and that's going to be prep for the spike to come back out. Rika takes down Doffy with that Spectre, and Speed Kicks trying to fight back, but no, the grenade comes down and forces the reposition. The spike goes down again, and you have lost your Cypher already. Now, there's no Hellfire. In fact, there are no ults on the board whatsoever, so you gotta rely on your utility and raw killing power. School and Kicks, however, have no problems with that, taking out Rika and Polonium, and Toasty comes back to help save the day by taking down Rika. Now it's a 3v3, 3v2. Roasty takes down Kicks as well, and Mindless helps secure the ending of this round, supposedly. But it's gonna go to the attackers instead. School gets a 3k, but Roasty comes back against Schooled and destroys that 3k before it can become a 4. Again, 12-3 right now is not a position you want to see yourselves in, and now we really need to see a change in PDHM.
Yes, this should do.
That is exactly what we're going to need to see here, Keg. But even at a point like this, if PDHM really wanted to, they could throw this last round because it's going to be a tough recovery. And if they are to come, say, 9 rounds back and lose the last round, all that's going to do is fatigue them. What they could do instead is throw this and get ready for the decider map. But this is the competition, you're not going to want to do that, so that's why Rika is going to find the first kill alongside Toasty. They're both going to find kills. Now it's a 5v3 situation for the people on match point. Every advantage they want to their favor. Toasty on the flank on Pix is going to take him out. Now it's the 2 members left of PDHM to try to close us out and prevent a match win. That's Toasty finding a 3rd kill in the round. Oh, cool. He's going to try to find the head of one, but Roasty is going to take him out. That is the Roasty and Toasty duo that we have been seeing through the previous matches today. This is where it matters. It's going to be map number 2, going to VGA, and it is a 1-to-1 scoreline inside of this series. Absolutely huge for VGA to come back like this.
Yeah, all things considered, this is not the way I thought it was going to go. I really thought it was going to be the opposite scoreline, but VGA really brought it back. And again, we did see School really pop off 17-13 overall, going right up and neck with Rika, who went 18-11. But all things considered, everyone else on PDHM's team did not really show up that game. And just about everybody on VGA did their part and got all the frags they really needed. Not a single person, by the way, on VGA side went negative in their KD, whereas all but one on PDHM's side did. This is the first map, by the way, that PDHM has lost this entire series.
Yeah, I mean, this is different, to say the least. There's no real other way to describe this except different, because PDHM, this is not what they have usually been. Like you said, they have not lost a map throughout this entire time, except through forfeits. And VGA is the first team to take a map off of them, which is absolutely huge. It shows that VGA definitely deserves this 2nd place spot. You know, if running through the winners and losers bracket was not enough to show you who deserves top 2, it's going to be this situation right here. This is going to be the point that shows, hey, we deserve to be here. It's exactly what they're doing. Now, as we move on now, we are going to be moving on to Haven. Okay, I know you don't like the map, but depending on who is on attack and who's on defense first, it's going to be completely different. And because PDHM was the top seed coming in from the winners bracket, they got to pick the side for the deciding map, and they picked attack, which,
Oh god,
like we said, and like we have heard time and time again, notably, they are probably in the best situation they could be in. There's no real other way to put it. Attack is a more dominant point on Haven than I think any other map goes. I think you are more prepared for a Haven attack than anything else.
Now, keep in mind, on the streams, this is not the first time we have seen PDHM on attack on Haven. And when we've seen them before, it definitely wasn't against VGA. I believe it was against Aerial Arise a few days ago. Or no, I'm sorry, it was against Voltic. And it was just an absolute stomp I mean, pretty much that 13-1 scoreline we had seen against Volta Gaming just a few days ago. In fact, it was just yesterday. But I think we might finally see this redemption round. However, this could be the ultimate round that we all want to see in the Grand Championships and go right to the final round. But each game we have seen between the two teams so far have been extremely one-sided. But if it's going to come back one way or another, it's probably going to be Haven on the attacking side. The defense on Haven, I'm sure you've heard us harp about this time and time again. It's very difficult. It can be extremely difficult, especially in a tier 3 scene like this where coordination's
Select your
there,
agent.
but still not perfected all the way. Usually it's a lot easier to coordinate your attacks because it's so easier to rotate rather than having your defense completely spread themselves out fully like we usually see on Haven defenses. But it's going to come down to the operator selection. Obviously, on VGA side, we're going to see the Cypher, and I guarantee on PDH, we're going to see a Cypher as well. A Sage, of course, probably. And then we do see the Omen on board, but PDH, interestingly, does not have a duelist once again. And we've seen them make the same mistake, I believe, against Aerial or Rise last night, where they suffered a little bit, but they brought it back. But again, no duelists.
I mean, I gotta say that's interesting, but if we learned anything from Ariel or Rise's mistakes earlier, it's that not bringing a duelist could be very, very difficult. And if you remember correctly, we had some people on PDHM that can really show up in terms of duelists. They can get a lot of kills, they can get a lot of frags, but now we have a double duelist combo here, Rika and Toasty on the side of VGA. So I'm curious how this is going to work out, but
A minute 25 left, and immediately, seconds within the round, we have Doppy taking down Toasty Toaster. Hopefully, Roasty will be there to look at that, not too far behind, looking to get that refrag again. His location's been revealed by the recon bolt, cyber cages are out, and the Omen smoke is in effect. He's going to put himself in a really bad position. He's going to be catching himself right in the middle of so many different attackers, and it's going to be Richa being the first one to be killed on PDHM's side, and that's going to be potentially what could have been a nice kill on the C4, but PDHM says, nope, not today. We lost one, but we're not losing any more, and that's going to be the first round done within minutes.
like we said, Haven, there's 3 bomb sites. You have to spread yourself very thin with at least 4 main control points that you have to hold at all costs. And by letting the attackers have free reign and have 5 people walk on the site, unless you get some really nice picks early on, or maybe you're Sage and you have 3 walls somehow, you're not going to be able to hold people off long enough for all of your team to get there. It's going to be about the retake situation in most cases. Now, both cybercams are going to be out here on A, but he gets spotted by the recon drone, and Kix is going to go ahead and find him and take off his head. Mixes finds yet another takedown. Like that, A site is all theirs. Mindless finds Classic in his hands, but Sage uses her wall to hold him off, and now just like that, it's going to have to be a angle into heaven if you want anything to happen, or you're going to have to shoot down those walls. At a time like this, there's only one way to rotate back, and it's being blocked off by one of Cypher's links, and Brimstone watching it. So things are tough. Time dwindles away, and PDHM has to do as they can. Him dropping down, gets shot by Doppy though. Schooled, going to find one. Rika finds 2 as well with the Classic. Rika throwing a grenade though, is going to get shot out by Schooled, and find himself a 2K on the round. Round number 2 heading in favor of PDHM.
I mean, that round is looking this game is looking much more like PDHM already 2 rounds in. Last game, we didn't really see them show up so aggressively. They certainly tried a little bit, but not to this level. And again, I think the big reason why it's being so effective right now is to just keep running A over and over again until there's at least 3 people holding it all the time. Then you can abuse that the round after and go for C. But right now we see the Roasty Toasty combo chilling outside of A. It's looking like some angles are already being looked at for B side. They don't want to overuse the A push either, even though it might be one of the best solutions they have right now. They want to mix it up and keep the enemies on their toes. With a minute 28 left, we still see the spike maintaining its course, going to B side, and no one really contesting its mid side, the Brimstone. But speaking of that Brimstone, Kix is going to take down Mindless almost immediately without really much of a fight. With that being said, though, they're going to completely ignore B, realizing the retake would be hell in a cell for both teams, and go straight for A. This is really gonna throw VGA off for a loop. It's throwing me off as well because now you have to play a really awkward retake game, almost as if your defenders are acting as the attackers taking back the site. Now Roasty's been revealed by Kicks. Rika's looking around to see what he can do on a long, but it's gonna be too little too late for much longer on Roasty. He needs to push up, but he has someone on his left and his right in such an awkward position. He gets his right, he takes down Kicks, and now he's gotta wait for Rika to help him out. But School takes down Rika, and that's a really bad position for him to be in. Again, Mixes takes down Roasty as well, and you're left with Polonium. But they already know where he's at. He just goes out of the smoke like it's nobody's business and hopes for the best. The best, unfortunately, being instant death.
I mean, when it comes to saying that the best situation to be in is instant death, that just goes to show how dominant of a force this team is becoming. PDHM really showing their true colors, unlike the small fluke that they had on the previous map. Now, like we've said, PDHM super dominant, just playing like this. If you had tuned in, and the first time tuning in to AGN Valorant at all was on the last map, throw everything you know about PDHM out the window, because that is not PDHM. This is PDHM. This is their Valorant team. Their head is back in the game, and they are ready to go for it. These first 3 rounds show anything just like that, and A site is being taken in full force. Spike makes its way onto A in the hands of the Sova, and every part of control, except for maybe Heaven, could be in favor of PDHM. Lucy finds the first kill now, taking out the Sage, but the Spike goes down nonetheless. Start the countdown. It is time for the defenders to kick it into gear. Ray's going to make quick work on the behind. It's going to be Toasty looking for a kill on the left side, going blinded. Doffy's going to take a kill on the mindless. Toasty with the immediate refrag, and Richa with the next immediate refrag. Now taking out Rosie is going to be Mixes, and Richa is going in tandem to take him out. The pistol with Ghost coming out from Richa is going to find 2 kills for him, but Rika now is going to make it back. Sova's ultimate now coming out. It's a 1v1 Hunter's Fury. It's going to be the name of the game. But he did not get the kill. The defuse is happening. 2 seconds left. 1 second left. Make it count. And the defenders get the defuse with milliseconds left. Rika clutching it out for a team. Just shy away from Schooled finishing it off.
I can't imagine what the comms are like right now on PDH's side. That is so unfortunate. It seemed like if he had just moved over a millimeter, that would have been a 4-0. But instead, he just did not. He did not move it over whatsoever, and only that last shot hit, and even then it wasn't enough to secure the kill. How awful, but that's okay. That was a really nice and unique attempt. That would have been a great play, but we're not going to see it maybe in a different universe. Right now we do see 2 ults on the board. We see Kicks and I believe the Cypher on PDH's side, both with their Neural Theft and their Revive. That could be really huge, but Rachel's in a really awkward spot. They think someone might be there, and that's going to be an opening pick going back and forth. Somehow in all of that, Rachel does get a kill on Rika, and it's going to be just a huge onslaught either way. The Revive does come out, and Kicks does take down Mindless as well, so it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. Of course, now you have your Roasty Toasty last left alive right now, and you do lose out on your Brimstone, but it's not too late. Toasty, however, is going to be in Garage. He's going to be hit by the Cyber Cage. It's going to hurt him a lot, but he does take the head off of Doffy. Now it's going to be B-side of C-side completely free of any opponents, and it looks like most of PDH is going to wait for the refrag potential. Now Kicks is going to be moving up through C, and it's going to be Mixes unfortunately going down as well. Kicks does find Roasty, and the Sova, I'm really not sure what their plan is other than watching for the flank, and they surmised it correctly, because now we do have a few shots going off against Toasty. It's going to be Toasty being taken down by Schooled, and it's going to be PDH once again taking another round. We have a 3-round differential so far. The scoreline looks a lot more different than how close it really feels.
Very true. I mean, honestly, there's a 3-round split here, and that's always something you're able to come back from. But with how purely dominant PDHM has been this entire matchup, I don't expect a solid comeback. That 1 round was a round that came down to the wire, and that is probably the best way I can explain how you're going to win. It's going to be something that comes down to the wire, comes down to the final seconds. You're not going to be able to gain a lot of traction on them, and especially on a map like this where they've had a lot more experience or a lot more ready to go, it's going to be a tough battle. Now you see Phoenix on the right at back. It's going to be Toasty. getting rid of any utility he can and rearranging where his position is. In the corner here is Polonium. Sage is inside the smoke though. Slightly spotted out, just millimeters away.
Come on, man.
Disaster. That's going to be Polonium finding the kill. Now going to go for the swing on C Long, but Rika is going to be the one to find him. It's going to be an immediate refrag. Doffy finds one along with Rika on the other side. Now finding mixes. Gould takes out Rika. Toasty taking out Doffy now. Shots coming out and trades even on all sides. Now bring it back to a 2v2. Health is in favor of VGA though. Never mind. It's going to be in favor of... Actually, it is already in favor of VGA. My apologies. It's going to be in favor of PDHM, but not anymore. It's going to be Mindless to take out the last member of PDHM. And it's going to be a defuse coming down. Just around that. Just came with a flurry of trades in a matter of milliseconds. Just closing out in an absolutely extraordinary way.
Yeah, I mean, they did a fantastic job to clutch out that round. It looked like it really could have gone either way, but ultimately the cookie crumbled in VGA's favor, and now they have a hill to climb. It's not as bad as some previous games, but it's only a 2-round differential. But we had seen a really vigorous beginning for PDHM, but right now it's slowing down a little bit, and Slow is going to be an interesting game this time around. It's looking like it might be a super aggressive attack or a very slow attack, but looking like it's going to be a super huge aggressive attack going down A long, whereas Doffy's trying to find that opening pick. Not going to find the pre-fire, however. The tripwire is going to trip him out, and cyber cages are online. Doffy, however, reacts quicker than Roasty. That's going to be Roasty going down, but where's Toasty at? He's on top of Heaven, blinded out completely, and that's kind of the story for all the defenders. Completely blinded out and not able to get those shots except for Toasty, getting a really hard to get shot on the school going from Heaven. Now it's going to be a matter of the retake of the site going against that spike. It's going to be Doffy who finds Toasty, and Doffy with a triple kill. But Doffy, unfortunately, his ride ends there. Mindless takes him down, and Kicks takes down Mindless in the refrag. It's down to Polonium to be the last one alive. The stim beacon's out. Polo, yeah. Yo, when's Polo playing? But it looks like he's not playing today. Kicks is going to be taking down Polonium again. It was a 1v3 with the stim beacon being down right next to the spike. They knew exactly where you were at. Unfortunately, it's just not a situation you can be in to bring it back. So sad, so sorry. Round number 8.
I mean, I have to say that there's a consistency here. And the thing that we're seeing most consistent is PDHM. When they find the first opening kill, they more than often win. When VGA finds the first opening kill, PDHM also likes to win. Except for a couple rounds. So, now the reason why I say that is that whoever finds the first kill more than often winds up getting the round. Now Kicks finding the first kill here as well alongside Doffy, because
I know exactly
kills now. They're able to capitalize on their abilities, such as Doffy here, being able to now see where everyone is and see that B site is completely free and clear for the taking. 2 rotating through A. Mix is going to read that perfectly and take out Roasty, but is not going to find the other. Sage going to wall off the lane over to A site, and the spike goes down in B. The toughest site to hold is now going to be the site that they have a 5-to-1 advantage on. The Molly coming over, but it's not going to be a worry in the slightest, as there are still 5 members Toasty will have to find. Instead, he's going to take the Judge, the Dragon Judge nonetheless, pick it up, and walk back towards A. Going to want to sit. There's no chance for him to retake this here. He's not going to want to deal with that. Could come into some contact with Sage soon, though. That's what he's going to do. He's going to go and find the first kill. He picks up the Phantom now, a much more useful weapon, especially in close quarters combat like this. Shotgun's good, but when you're dealing with multiple people, you're going to be worried about that. Looking for the Heaven, but does not hear Mixes left. Just like that, now the spike goes off, and that's going to be round number 6 for PDHM's book.
PDHM again just seems to be around at every single corner to find every defender in those 2v1 situations, and that's where they excel the most. Split didn't really give them an opportunity to use those 2v1s to their advantage, to get those refrags as effectively as they have in maps 1 and currently map 3 as well. But we're about halfway into, we're actually very close to the halfway mark of this 3rd map. And if VGA can't step up their game, they're going to have to go home with just $100 to split between 5 people. But if they can bring it back, they have to face a whole other new best of 3 against PDHM. And I'm not sure if we're going to see that happen one way or another. But with that being said, the run it back unfortunately going to be going down immediately. And again, the real run it back person, Toasty, goes down as well. A huge onslaught going on. Richa makes his takedown peacefully in Polonium. And it's going to be a minute left and you're already down to 2 people. Yikes.
Hellfire comes out, but it's not going to do a whole lot. It's about the retake now. Seeing the ball going off, and there's a Molly coming out from the hands of Phoenix, or rather Brimstone's Molly. So the literal Molly, as Brimstone would say when shooting it, is going to be the things that blocks them off in a 2v4 situation. Not impossible to take back. Impossible? No. Unlikely? Yes. So it's going to be Mindless and the Rays falling back now, not wanting to deal with this a whole lot. Mindless and Rika are going to want to go ahead and take their time, take it slow, hold back, and just save what they can. Of course, losing the past couple rounds has not been the highlight of their life. Now, before we switch on to the next round, though, I do have to applaud Doffy right now. 3 in a row. What does he have 3 in a row of? Oh yeah, first picks. He is making noise. And the Cypher, nonetheless, he's able to put his links down exactly where they need him to, and then he's able to get aggressive, which is exactly what we see him doing. So, putting a lot of work in, applause to him, but anything can change. He's 12-6 right now, absolutely massive for his team. But we need to see how this is going to change up.
Double the overall kills as well compared to everybody else in the game, essentially, except for maybe 1 or 2. It looks like it's going to be maybe a fake A push again, trying to bait everyone over to defend on A site and then meet back over for C. But it looks like I'm not really sure what the Sage is trying to do. What is Kicks doing with that spike? They are the lone traveler going by themselves. Rika does take down Toasty Toaster, however, and that's going to be the one half of the Roasty Toasty completely dead. It's a minute 20 left, and you lose out on your Phoenix already, and that's one of your 2 duelists that you need to rely on. Keep in mind, PDHM doesn't have any duelists at all. They're all support or controllers. Richa does take down Rika as again, and the stream is frozen. There we go. We are back. Polonium, though, rotating around from Big Garage, looking for any potential flanks that they can take advantage of. The plant goes down on C, and now the post plant is in full effect. Interestingly, again, PDHM refuses to play the post plant on C on the site. Again, they are just walking off completely and just hoping for the best, or looking to play for long and off-shot whoever tries to defuse. That's the safest option they have right now, and the defenders are taking way too long to get to it. The Sage Wall was in full effect over Roasty, but no, they continue onto it. They broke through that wall. Hunter's Fury down as well, directly on that spike. This time pinged out, so he won't miss, but unfortunately it doesn't connect. Mixes with a double kill, taking down Mindless and Roasty, and Polonium securing it over Mixes. Also back and forth trying to find those closing frags, but Polonium does get the kill on the Kicks. He also gets that last kill onto himself. And it's going to be School, the only one surviving the whole ordeal. Again, I'm missing the Hunter's Fury on the bomb site, but again, when you're 8-2, it's not that big of a deal at this point.
As long as you're winning your rounds, that's what matters. Of course, the Hunter's Fury, had it came down to just that again, we could have definitely saw a repeat of what we saw back on, I believe that was going to be round number 5, when, or round number 4 rather, when they were unable to actually secure the kill with the Hunter's Fury. Mere milliseconds, but that doesn't matter. Right now, what we see though is happening right now. 2 people pushing down C long. If you want to look at the map on the top left, coming into for the flank. Cypher's Link is not sitting directly behind them though, so if they don't make a lot of movement, a lot of advancement right now, it could be 2 people very easily coming up behind them, but rather it goes for an opening push. Phoenix made long, he's going to get his head taken off by the hands of Zombie. Another opening frag for the man himself. Taking out one instead of push to site happen. Rosie in heaven with Aries is going to try to do support. Mindless finds kill onto Reacha though. That is going to bring it back to a 4v4 situation. 2 on the flank and 2 on site, but it looks like it's going to be a rotate. They're going to come into the people who are on their flank right now. Doffy takes out one, killing Rika in the process, and it's going to be left to just Polonium to go for that, to try to go for that flank, but it's going to go for yet another bait. However, Polonium on the behind him, they are not aware. PDHM does not know that Polonium is directly behind them. So they're going to be able to be read perfectly clearly. So the R2 are going to be able to go back. Mindless still in the corner there, gets flicked on by Mixes, and Schooled's going to take out Rosie in heaven. Subsequently, Schooled also turns around and finishes off Melodia, giving the attackers their 9th round win now, and PDHM is on a absolute burner.
Yeah, I mean, PDHM has been unstoppable for the last five rounds, I believe. 5 rounds. And keep in mind, that was only an interruption by 1 VGA win, which before then, it was kind of a back and forth, but again, that was only 2 VGA rounds so far. So, but mostly, it's been a huge stop with just one little area between rounds 4 and 6 where VGA won in between, sandwiching a round of PDHM. But since then, it has been a runaway success so far, and we are potentially 4 rounds away from securing the grand finals, the grand champions of the AGN Valorant tournament. Now, Kicks and Doffy do take down Mindless and Colonial, and Toasty again finds Kicks, but it's a back and forth on A site, which we are all too familiar with. Last one alive right now is going to be Rika Bunkers, and you're against a 1v3 situation. It is doable, but you have 3 supporting players all watching sites across all of the small A site. Oh, there's something caught in my throat, my bad. He's gonna find one on Schooled, but he's not gonna give up. He's looking for the showstopper, but unfortunately the wrong angle. Gets 2 and gets almost 3. That's nearly a trade. Barely coming back with their life, barely coming back from that 3K. That's gonna be Rika taking double digits into what could possibly be soon to be 2 points away from series point for AGN's Valorant tournament.
They are just 3 points away from winning the Season 1 playoffs for AGN Valorant, which is, you know, pretty huge at this point in time. Valorant still being a new esport means that there are far and few leagues. Most of the things are just tournaments, but this is a full-fledged league really coming out and showing a lot of teams' strengths and weaknesses. As we look into Breach's eyes there for a second, I don't know exactly what they're looking at, but it looks like
he's the captain now.
He is the captain now. Keg could not agree more. But this is going to be an aggression from the defense right down C-Long. Something we saw work not too well for VGA just a couple rounds previously when they tried to go on the flank, but rather this is a full-fledged push. The defenders become the attackers yet again, but there's no one on A to counter. Mixes finds the first kill on the flank, so that flank will be read perfectly. The A site is fully in control of VGA now. It's about the Cypher combat inside of heaven and by that staircase, but they're not yet seeing each other. Oh, rather, my bad, one of them is in hell, not heaven. So they're basically right on top of each other, but completely unaware of each other's positioning.
You're absolutely right, and it's still, most bodies are on the board. The Brimstone is super lit, and we are coming down closer and closer to this time limit. And there we go, the jump down, John Luke's boot style. Gonna be having so many of the defenders mowing down VGA. My God. And that defuse is gonna go down as well. Mix is securing the defuse. That's gonna be 1 point away from grand finals point in the AGN playoffs. My God. I mean, what can you say? You're holding a position for so long, and where are the callouts? No one tells you that heaven's been taken over. You need to rely on your teammates more. You're just not able to right now, it seems.
Yeah, it's definitely not seeming to be that way just quite yet. But nonetheless, this is a wonderful series. Whoever takes this, as it does look like it's going to be PDHM, both these teams have showed absolutely beautiful skills, beautiful levels, and just show that Valorant is an ever-growing esport that you cannot count out on action. Now, to refrain from that, though, the slow orb coming out from Kicks, aiming down into the smoke. 5 people here. He could get a very quick amount of kills. Walling off right there. Jump above. The area's in hand. Going trying to find 2 kills. He does not find any, though. Instead, doing a lot of damage.
Oh my
God. Team kill coming out from everyone here. Mindless gets a kill, but there's shots coming out all over the board. Just like that, it's Omen versus the Cypher. The spike is in sight, but so are both of the agents. Coming around the corner here. Oh, the Omen teleporting is getting caught off guard, and Doffy is going to be the one to take him out with the Spectre. Ladies and gentlemen, this is match point, series point, season 1 point, if you want to call it that. If PDHM win this round, it is game, set, and match.
That's right, and VGA have a gigantic boulder to bring back up a hill, needing 11 rounds in a row right now to bring this to the second best of 3. PDHM right now is looking fantastic, and it seems like they're dead set on getting these $300. Of course, now we are potentially the final match between the two, and it's already starting off fantastically with Mixes getting a blind headshot on the Toasty Toaster. Half of the Toasty Toaster fan club, Roasty Toasty fan combo is going to be down, and Rika takes down Rika Bonkers as well. Polonium takes another name off as well. Starting off this round, you're barely 30 seconds in, and you've already lost now you've officially lost pretty much half of your team. Now, Polonium and company are not too much different. It's going to be a 3v3 between the two teams, and you're trying to figure out what you need to do. The spike plane goes down on B side, Stim Beacon goes down for the defense, and Doffy has main window. Again, role reversal a little bit right now. It seems now that defenders need to retake the site as the attackers pretty much. Kicks takes down Roasty, so now the Roasty Toasty fan club is officially dead. Hellfire goes down, Skull takes down Mindless. Mindless, however, refrags on the Doffy, and that's gonna be Kicks taking out Polonium. That's gonna be a defuse going down, and ladies and gentlemen, we have our Season 1 winners of the AGN Valorant Playoffs. PDHM, we call them winners around these parts. They are going to walk home with $300, and unfortunately, we're going to have to give only $100 to VGA Gaming as we say goodbye to them as our second place victors. Good job, PDHM Gaming, for bringing it all the way home, and to be honest, only losing one map in the entire series.
An absolutely amazing amount of play coming out from both sides here in this series. The entirety of the playoffs have been absolutely fabulous, and VGA put in their blood, sweat, and tears, but PDHM just came out on top. Like you said, Keg, this is the first team to take a map off of PDHM. This is exactly why they deserve the number 2 spot. The only team that could come out in a situation like this, beating everyone else in the losers bracket. Now, obviously, they got beat earlier on, so they got bumped down to losers bracket, but since then, they pile drive, they ran over everyone through it, and now they fought their greatest opponent yet, PDHM, falling second place to them. An absolutely amazing team, putting in so much work and showing true dominance inside of the Valorant esports community.
Fantastic work all around. No bad players at all from the last few matches we had streamed on AGN Valorant. It has been really good. It has been really close games. We have seen absolute stomps. We have seen everything between all sorts of different games. We've also seen every single map, which you don't see in most other leagues. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the AGN Valorant content you've seen this season, make sure to drop them a follow on Twitch and follow them on Twitter. Join their Discord, which I think is in their description below.